which is what she should have done, because any good soldier would have been one to do that, to sit there and say, hey, are you okay? You haven't been sleeping. That's just you taking care of your people, not anything more or less special than that. So I'm not 100% sure why he's as testy as he is. And to me, it shows a point where it's like, nope, you need to have some real growth here. You can't just be acting the fool the way you are. Now, they also took off the collision in this game to a lot of the, whenever you're holding out the... Ooh, boom shot. Whenever you're holding out the chainsaw, because it used to be like, oh, I walked around with the chainsaw revved up, and yeah, and you would walk into everything. I'm pretty sure if you watch Nick and I play through the original Gears together, you can see that we're just walking around with the chainsaw, and everything would start to, like, disintegrate in front of it and split in half, and it was just this weird collision. And they really took it out, and it kind of bums me out a little bit, because I just liked walking around with the chainsaw out. It was just a really fun little thing that you could do. Let's look at Lizzie real quick. Okay, she's got the mechanic pants on. Got the... She's got the little pelt on. She's got the tank top. Like, she's like, oh nope, I work really hard. I'm a mechanic. I'm not just I'm not just the helpless damsel or the stereotype. She's got some personality, and we all like a strong female with personality. You know, it's like, shoot the belly. Well, I get that, but I can't always see the belly.
Whoa, don't get too close.
I like how liberal she is with grenades as well.
That's it, we're clear.
Like, that first grenade went out hard.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Lizzie. I like you, and I can't wait to see more of you. And then, of course, she wears the COG helmet, which, you know, pretty cool helmet. Very reminiscent of some Warhammer 40k.
Lizzie, you good to go here?
Yeah, just gotta round up those civvies you found.
Delta, Carmine's squad just got overrun. They're hunkered down with civilians inside the tower. They're not gonna last if you don't get there soon.
They need you at the hub. Go! You can get there through the park. Gates by the steps.
All right, you heard her. Let's move.
Lizzie, I'm gonna miss you. I hope we see you again later. I hope she's in the rest of this game and every other game coming up. I'm really hoping that she's related to Diz. Like, that would be awesome. And I realize I just refer to Dizzy as I would, Diz from Starship Troopers. But goddamn, are they great characters to have. Where do I need to go? Oh, I need to go over there. I'm trying to go across that little ravine there. Everyone else is just hanging out over here. But yes, I enjoy the fact that we have a good soldier in Falls who is also a huge asshole. Like, that's... Being one doesn't make you bad at the other. It may make us not like you as a character, but I'm actually excited to see how he behaves and what he's actually like going on. JD here is, you know, going off of all protocol, even after the first mission. He's like, well, Baird, I have to call you Control because that's protocol.
Oi, Del. You're gonna be okay.
You know, you might not have a problem with shooting innocent people, but I do.
Innocent, huh? Innocent? So people throwing firebombs are innocent? Good to know.
Both of you, knock it off.
So here, we heard about Settlement 2 in the first game.
Wait, I heard about this. That was you three?
Not three. One of us managed to keep his DBs under control.
What the hell happened?
We identified an insurgent element and eliminated it.
No, you opened fire on a protest.
Every herd needs a good culling.
And here we get to see what happened
I know
during
where I
installment
called
2.
from this herd.
And the one guy followed orders. They had firebombs, and it really brings you into today. Like, we're seeing protests in Hong Kong, where it's like they start peaceful, then you have some bad actors.
Look, what happened, happened. Right now, we focus on completing this evacuation.
Goddamn right.
And it comes down to, what do you do? Neither side is ever completely innocent. And if this is what they're going to tackle in this game, I think that's going to be
Carmine is definitely in trouble.
fantastic. I think that's something that's needed and something that we haven't quite tackled yet in a good way in video games. I can't think of anything where, especially in a game where it's like, okay, there were bad actors, we had to stop something, we had to put them down, and we get to see it now from both sides, because you play as the military presence. Like I said, this is a successful dystopian society. It's not like you have full free will,
Taking down our condors too.
Yeah, I bet that goddamn swarm mech brought it down.
but
Every condor we lose means fewer reinforcements.
okay. I guess they're all too damaged for us to, like, pull them down. But
Through here.
it's
Shit, snatch
it's a good thing to see when you see a society like this where it's like, okay, maybe things aren't all good here, but it's also for the betterment of mankind, and that was one of the things that made... Sorry, that was one of the things that made,
Got to go.
this popper thing's gotta go. Yeah. I like the guitar store there. But what we end up with in this is you have a society almost similar to that of
Phoenix, I'm down to my last squad of DBs here. Where the hell are you?
Hang on, Sarge. We're almost there.
that of your similar to Starship Troopers. Starship Troopers, if you remember, everyone lost World War II except for like the Nazis and all of the Axis powers. So Axis powers come through, they are complete tyrants. They change the way the entire world thinks. Saren Colossus. Monstrous malevolence. From the crimson sands of Vaskar to the rolling plains of Tyrus, a plethora of strange, sometimes vicious creatures have passed the evolutionary tests of time, many thriving onwards to attain sizes unspeakable. Of these fabled beasts, the most notorious is perhaps the Riftworm, native to Tyrus, and responsible for the destruction of several major Cog cities. After its elimination by the Cog military, the Riftworm's carcass has gone on to form something akin to a terrestrial whalefall. As such, it's anticipated to nurture the surrounding ecosystem for decades to come. Despite the numerous and conclusive studies, the Riftworm origin and evolutionary history remain befogging in mystery. However, some scientists have recently turned their attention to the region of Vaskar, where legends of a remarkably similar creature have earned renewed scholarly interest. Okay, so now we're also going to learn about like the Riftworms and how some of these creatures get to this massive size, even though maybe we've never seen them or never found them before. It's the library from the first game. So, as it happens here, like I said, we lost World War II in Starship Troopers, and when you have the Axis powers come through and take over, they unify the way everyone thinks. Is it always good? No. I mean, they probably continued out with a few things that are really bad in the long run.
Carmine's DB still got some fight.
But that unification is what ultimately allows them to progress to space, to build space stations, have intergalactic travel. You can then say, hey, look, you're no longer religious. Why? Because religion's not going to help us. It just divides us too much, and we don't need to be doing it. So that's actually, to me, one of the things that I think this game is getting very well, is that just because you do bad things doesn't necessarily make it a bad... Doesn't necessarily make it for... Doesn't make you bad, I guess would be the best way to put it. You have to look at the greater good here. Now, were you actually there to go through and just watch over a peaceful protest, make sure no one got out of line? Probably. Could it have been a malfunction in the DV's programming and someone just got a bad bunch and it sets them up wrong in the end? Yes. When they return fire or start throwing firebombs, does that necessarily mean that they were completely defending themselves? Or was it like someone threw a firebomb, they couldn't figure out where, and instead of like firing tear gas, the DBs had lethal rounds, and they ended up having to have that entire fight? Those are questions that we need to ask ourselves. The one sees himself as a good soldier following orders, and the other just, have to grapple with the thing that, hey, humanity's not this strong presence that it once was, and fighting each other is not going to be helpful in the long run. Like, that's something that we need to really... that we really need to watch, because if we keep whacking ourselves, like, what chance are we going to have in the event that something worse shows up? And now we're back to the swarm being here, and something worse is taking over, and we are now having to deal with that with even more depleted manpower as we rely more on robots and different things of such a nature. Robots and drones, I guess would be the best way to put it. Like, I like how we call the grubs here drones, and the grunts here are just called drones, along with the fact that we are legitimately using drones too. We're using drones ourselves in order to fight them, and we're still calling them drones. It's actually a pretty good juxtaposition, showing how similar, I guess, we are to them. The fact that their hive mind is also just drones.
Wilco, you keep those civilians safe. We'll handle things.
Uh-oh, what do we got? Oh, Lancer grenade launchers? Where the hell does Barry find the time? Here, get them while they're hot.